Denizens of the Warp and fellow people of Monkey kind, welcome to this week's episode of the Warp Report. I am joined here by my co-hosts Luke and Rock. How are you guys doing today?
Lord's blessings for you, brother.
I'm doing just fine as heck.
Very nice. All right, so before we get into our topic today, let's catch up. What have you guys been up to? Any games? Anything planned? Any just news going on? How is life in Korea for y'all?
So far, so good. Cannot complain. I have a game coming up this weekend. Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's a 4K game.
What's that?
It's gonna take. I think turn 1 is gonna take around 6 to 20 hours to play. If we finish the 20-hour deployment, that is gonna be involved. We're playing with Black Templars, Death Guard, Nids, and Admech. Now, how does that make sense? It doesn't. That's the whole point.
How does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, are you guys teaming up?
No, we're teaming up. We're teaming up. That's the thing.
Wait. So what's the team?
That's the thing. So lore-wise, it doesn't make sense, but we're gonna make some. We're gonna make some concessions. It's Death Guard and Black Templars versus Admech and Chernets. So because our local Templar considers everything's a heresy, he said, for the purpose of this match, you are pre-heresy Death Guard, or I will shoot you on the spot. And I agreed. So,
but then he wouldn't exist.
That's pretty much it. No, he's playing Imperial Fists in this case, but painted in black.
I see. So, well,
that's how we work.
Nids, Admech, weakness of the flesh, and all that.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to it. Strategizing, we're trying to play around our strengths and weaknesses.
I remember the last time I played 4,000 point game. I think it lasted like a whole day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you play against us.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was your custodians and my blood angels. And I couldn't kill the Death Guard or the Prince because I kept rolling ones.
And I had to bail you out there. The thing is, in that game, I sacrificed all my custodians, died everybody, so your angels could
then those guard just started ripping through. It's like, hey, how many Necrons do you have here? 20? No, you don't.
No, you don't. Yeah, but I remember the Demon Prince, you were locked in combat with Demon Prince for like 2 turns. Yeah. I had to walk across the table with my captain on Jetbike. Walk up to the guy and kill him for you. So you can get
that. You were telling me that you would kill it, I think, turn 1. I was like, I don't know about that.
Well, the thing is, I made a dumb move and I backed my angels away from it. If the angels had stayed in combat with it, it would have died. But I backed away my melee units from it and tried to shoot it, which failed horribly.
Oh, but the thing is, though, like, to be fair, you were dancing around him, though.
Yeah,
mistakes were made.
Yeah, many mistakes were made. Like you exposing your what was it? Guy. Your Fight Last Aura guy. Yeah, my incursor, my infiltrators capped him from max range. Yeah, the infiltrators capped him from a building because he was exposed.
The MVP of the Death Guard during that game is the Death Shot. They're just chilling and they're doing nothing.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't drop them because I spread
the MVPs of that game were the Blade Guards from the Blood Angels. They were like 5 Blade. No, sorry, because you missed one. You had 4 Blade Guard and an infiltrated Custodies because you missed the model. They were just sitting in the middle, just watching as everything just died. They were just camping there, chilling, just scoring all of the moment.
They knew no fear, and they scored 10 free points.
And we're gonna score 10 points. And meanwhile, you were well, the thing is like, my side of the board is fun. It's great. Meanwhile, on the Custodian sides, hello, I am the Nightbringer. Hello, I am the other
Transcendent,
unbranded
Transcendent. Yeah.
And like, I ignore your impulse saves, and you're dead now. Hey. And while you were having your fun fight with the Demon Prince by Custodians being slaughtered back and forth by the
but we won because I think I scored like 90 points. Because I just took abilities that are like sit in the middle. 2 of mine were sit in the middle, and then I think one was just engage on all fronts. which I just had models everywhere.
Pretty much. Like those,
Yeah, it was a very, very funny game, I gotta say.
Like with the Sanguinius wing, they fly so freaking fast. Like they go around the board. Yeah,
Sanguinary Guard. The Golden Boys.
It was brutal, but it was fun though. It was fun.
Yeah, it was such a great game.
Yeah, then the downside is like we started and we finished like turn 2 or turn 3 and went at like 6 p.m.
It was pretty
You were so
late.
late.
Yeah, and we finally just called it. I was gonna say, but you couldn't join us, for post game celebrations because you were a nub.
Yeah, for the
Yeah,
the
out here
chicken
being a
I'm
nub.
sorry, it's just that I'm out of cash. Okay.
We're covering you.
Yeah,
for
I was
that
about to say,
one.
dude,
Yeah.
we offered to pay for you.
No,
We have jobs
you
for a
guys weren't
reason.
covering for me.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
There were no offering.
All
There were
three
no
of us
offering.
offered to pay
It's
for
just-
you.
I heard next time.
Yes,
just like join us
all
next
three
time.
of us.
Like,
You're trying to. You're trying to misremember so that you feel bad. That you don't feel bad.
Anyway. See, like, what happened last time we went for
Okay,
chicken
fine,
and beer?
You guys
Did we
covered
cover
me.
for you or not? Okay, see, we
Yeah.
have a point there, and you cannot argue that.
Maybe I heard
Anyway.
it wrong.
That's not the point
Yeah,
here.
okay.
The point is that it was a good fun game. The Imperium won. The filthy
We'll
Xenos
have
and Heretics died that day.
vengeance. Maybe anytime soon.
Okay.
I was gonna say, so anytime now. How about you get your vengeance against my demons first?
Ooh, I'm waiting for that. I'm totally waiting for that. Just wait until past the.
The list is
just wait
scarier than
until
you remember.
dude.
I do not want to see Be'lakor. No near me. I mean, I'm thinking of asking you so I can borrow him. So I want to try a meme that I saw.
Yeah. Wait,
Nick,
borrowing
just,
him on Sunday?
Let me think about it.
Early
Okay.
heads up
I am
on the
tempted.
revenge
I'm
match.
tempted.
I think
But
it's
I'll
gonna
let
be
you know.
Be'lakor versus Be'lakor.
Yeah, but we get full rerolls on each other because they're both Demon Prince models.
Yep.
But that means you
basically.
can't take your other Demon Prince.
I mean, it's on other dimensions.
Oh, yeah, you can't include them in the same detachment.
So it's valid. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's just the same detachment.
the
There's a
fun thing
loophole there,
of
my friend.
Be'lakor with that guy is like I was listening to an interview they did to a chaos player he went 6-1 in a local local GT, and his list was a mess. And his list was like a group of Iron Warriors, Forge Fiend, Discordance, Be'lakor, Blow Drones, Playcaster. It was a walking mess, and Epidemius on top. And the gimmick is, of course, Epidemius will buff Be'lakor and the Death Gardener Demon Engine Nurgle thing, and it was brutal. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing, he said, like, I was playing a game and I had to face against Death Guard, and the thing is, Epidemius tallies give you tallies for if a demon of Nurgle kills a unit, whether it's friend or foe, you get a tally. So when the enemy had Mortarion was killing his own stuff, and he was still getting tallies. So his Be'lakor, so the enemy Mortarion was killing his own units, and his Be'lakor was getting buffed because of it.
Oh, okay.
So his Be'lakor was like super juiced against the Mortarion. So the more he lost, the more he got, the powerful he got. It was such a silly mechanic that Epidemius has. It's chaos.
That is hysterical.
That's the whole game.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, but yeah, these days my list, I think I've mentioned, is 3 Keepers of Secrets, a Bloodthirster of Incent and Rage, Be'lakor, and a Lord of Change.
Oof.
As a joke, I do have a Magnus. I need to finish him. I just haven't been working on him lately. I'm finishing up some Demonettes that I just got. And I'm working on I gotta finish the Demonettes. I'm working on my Infinity stuff because I started getting into that for a little, brain break from Warhammer. And I'm also working on our painting competition model. The painting competition, I'm working on that model.
Oh yeah, the color one.
Yeah.
Color palette.
Any model, I think.
Or like, is it any models?
Yeah, but it's a color restriction. So I was given 3 colors plus black and white, and I'm only allowed to use those colors. And I can only mix my 3 colors with black or white. I can't mix any of the 3 together to make anything else.
Ouch.
So yeah, it's actually kind of fun. I'm enjoying myself. Luckily, I managed to get my hands on the perfect model, which you all will see it when it comes out. I cannot spoil it, but I managed to get my hands on the perfect model for this.
Hey, as long as it works.
Yeah.
Do it.
But yeah, it's Infinity, you're saying. Yeah, basically think if a couple nerds got together and took all the things that they found cool across the nerd fandoms and decided to turn it into a board game. There's games, there's an army of like Imperial Chinese, there's an army of North America or of Scottish Viking werewolves. There's an army of America and Europe that basically supposedly rules everything. There is the Japanese secessionist army. Yeah, there's the Middle East army. Japanese, yeah. Mine's
the one I like. I don't know the name, but it's the one that like they have the super powerful resource, but they have like weapons from like the old age.
Yeah, that's Ariadna.
Yeah, I heard about that, and it sounds like Fallout New Vegas.
Yes, that's the werewolf army.
Oh, that's the werewolf army?
Them. Basically, everyone has this super advanced metal, but these guys don't know how to use it, like how to properly use it for like space flight and stuff, so they just turned it into bullets.
Hey, it works.
It's like that. Think of the metal from the movie Avatar with the blue people. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, well, what I was like, when I was watching that, I was watching some reports on the internet about this. And have you played the old school game, Command and Conquer, Red Alert?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when you play the terrorists and you upgrade for the AK-47s and say AK-47 for everybody, and everybody's just that's how I felt the whole army.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just a bunch of people with nothing.
It's their whole thing is camo. That's their whole thing. Yeah, surprise attacks, guerrilla warfare. Mine is the Japanese secessionist army because I wanted to be a filthy weeb. I have a giant samurai robot, a guy on bike that's totally not Keanu Reeves, but totally looks like Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
2 guys on motorcycles.
Okay.
See you later, samurai.
And then I have another one that's coming. It is a samurai, but it has the cat ears and a giant scythe. And if you've ever seen Durarara, it looks just like Celti from Durarara.
This is what terrorist wins.
Yeah, it looks just like her.
Oh, yeah.
And so
nice.
It's called a Karoshi Rider.
Oh, interesting.
Sadly, my box did not come with it, even though it was supposed to. It was just missing. But you know, in Corvus Belly, I reached out to them and sent them like a picture of like a model that was in there and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you. I was really excited about this model. I didn't get it. Is there anything I could do? Could I like buy it off you?" And they said, "We are so sorry. We will be sending it out to you without any cost to you." They're sending it from Spain.
Oh,
nice.
And they got back to me within 24 hours and said, "It's coming right out. Like, we are so sorry." I'm like, you know what? That feels good to like get that prompt response and be like, "We are so sorry that you're missing a model."
Customer service.
Yeah. You know, and you know, it is inventory control because at some point, but also like just the, you know, I kind of gave them all the information they needed. But since, you know, it was my first time contacting them, they didn't even really question it, you know, since it was my first time. They notice if you abuse the system, but I just said, "Hey, this was missing." Boom, instantly sent it to me. So that was just nice. A very feel good moment I had. Good. So yeah, shout out to Corvus Belly. You guys are the bomb, and I will be buying more miniatures. Also, all these minis are metal. Fun fact.
Yeah, Finecast. Right?
Yeah, they're all like old, old Warhammer. They're like all like that.
Yeah,
not a fan.
I heard that they're coming up their first plastic sprues.
Yep, some of them have already started dropping. I want to get my whole army in metal because I'm weird. I like metal, but also I like contrast paints. And
I mean, I know you like metal, but I think you also like, you know, international trips with basically a luggage full of metal. Go do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
But yeah, it's very it's also, they work really well with contrast paints because the details are so rigid. Makes contrast paints like pop because they slide off of it better. So they just slide into the recesses really, really nicely.
Ooh.
This is the purple and black army I was talking about the other day. Yeah, I'll show you some of the models. I've been practicing dark skin with them. Because I'm like, these are, even though, you know, these are guerrilla fighters. They're not going to be like a fair skinned people. They're going to be dark and tan because they're outside fighting all day in East Asia, which we all know is just too hot. It's too hot here, guys. I live there too. That is worse, but it is not by much. You know, yeah, it was so that's really cool, but definitely got to finish up more demons. I got more pink horrors today. Yeah,
I was asking about that.
Yeah.
So you're going the full
horrors.
They split and then make your life miserable.
Yeah, so in a crusade you don't have to play for the split. So if I bring 30 horrors to the table, they then can produce 60 blue horrors, which then can produce 120 pink horror or brimstone horrors. So for the cost of 210 points, I can bring, or no, they're 240. For 240 points, I can bring 210 models to the table.
What?
In match play, you have to pay for it. In match play, you have to pay for it. Crusade, you just pray you have blast weapons and that I fail my invo saves because every single one of them has a 4-up, 5-up, 6-up, respectively. No, pinks have 4-ups.
Wait, 4-ups?
Zeech, ephemeral form, they get a +1 to their invos. So like Slanesh has fight first. Korn has add 1 attack and strength to your unit on the charge. And Zeech is +1 to invos, and Nurgle is disgustingly resilient. Which in demons is still the 5-up invo.
It's the old one. Yep.
Oh, I guess. But I thought like it's basically like I actually thought in Warhammer universe, like the guardsmen, they're like the embodiment of body fodder. But I guess demons, like,
yeah, as I say, well, demons are also cannon fodder-y type armies. I mean, I told you I run 6 greater demons. I still run 50 obsec units with that.
Yep.
So if I run 5 greater demons, I'll be running 70 some troop units. So
yeah, sounds like fun.
Oh yeah, it's loads of fun for me. Actually,
how much time you just spend?
I've gotten pretty fast at it, but at first, way too much time. But no, that's why you'll see me now. Okay. If you see me move, I move one unit. I move the front unit and the back unit, and then I just like plop everything in between them. Well, because people know like they're going to end up somewhere in between those two models. So as long as like if they're in a line and you drop them in the same formation, you just plop, then they work. So that's one of the ways to like kind of move your models quickly whenever you have a ton. But a lot of mine, like whenever I run like the 75 unit list, nothing really moves. Or there's a couple units that don't really move for most of the game. Like they'll get on a point and then they just sit there.
Move. They don't need to move. That's the whole point.
Yeah. The whole thing with demons is they're hard to move. They don't have as much pushing power as you would like. But once they get up the board, pushing them back is extremely hard. They're very, very stubborn. So like if you get turn 1, sometimes that's good. I prefer turn 2 these days because then I can just sit in my deployment zone and threaten you with keepers and just wait for you to move. But the thing is, even against some lists to that, I still lose, more often than I would like. But, that's...
We're all doing good.
Yeah, that's actually, though, what I wanted to talk about today was basically, how do we deal with getting our faces kicked in? So, we get our our faces kicked in a lot.
You ask how we cope with that, and my secret is you just don't. Simple as this.
That's fair.
I don't lose.
There it is.
There it is.
In my head.
Why don't we?
In my head.
We've always had a what's seeming to become a habit here of going to our residential expert whenever it comes to like our topics. Like last week, we went to me on cases. So, Rock, let's go to you on losing.
Okay, yeah. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Whoa,
I mean, I guess.
Whoa. You're gonna need the Emperor for that, burn, man. Yeah.
Not even your disgusting resilience save is gonna save you.
Wow.
You're gonna need to feel no pain for that, brother. You should roll the dice now.
Mortal wounds.
Gotta need a plague surgeon to spread the narcotics around.
Yeah, that was anyways, off of my D6 super smite.
Rude much.
Very rude. And you're all
yeah.
Anyway.
I'll stop being rude when you beat my demons.
Okay.
So, anyways.
So when it comes to losing, like you just like honestly, if you're starting the game, yeah, I said it. If you're starting the game and when you're bound to lose no matter what. I'm not gonna lie. Because like there's so many things that you might like miss and not do. Like, for example, your secondary objective, like you forget to spread the sickness, or you forgot to whatever, guys.
I'm just happy that you're honest about it, and you just like literally just calling out yourself. Good job. I'm proud of you.
And raise the banner, or like do certain like actions, or you even like forget to heal your guys for some reason. That happens. Or even time to time, you just like after movement, you just go to shooting right away because you're so excited to shoot and forget like, oh my god, I have psychic things to do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have a shooting phase. I almost skipped the shooting phase the other day because I'm so used to playing demons. I almost skipped the shooting phase.
Yeah, it happens too.
What do you mean? Did you have shooting phase with blood angels? I thought you just threw knives.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, actually, that is my that's my infiltrator sergeant. I still need to get the piece. I haven't found one small enough, so I might get one 3D printed. It's a little scope, so I can put it on the knife as he's throwing it.
I remember I showed me a photo like this is your shooting phase, Nick.
Blood Angel shooting phase.
It's
I have that
giant
model.
Knife. It's just a giant Bowie knife with the sniper scope.
Yeah, it's just a guy throwing a bow knife. It's great.
Honestly, you just need to keep tally what you miss, I think. And just learn from it.
When I lose, depends on the game, because there is losing and losing. When you lose because you literally just play awful because you have no idea what you're doing. Okay, I'm learning the game. It's fine. But when you're playing at least at a high level competition, and you lose because you made a mistake and you know it, and like you at least in my case a little bit, I get angry, but not angry at the player or the game. I get angry at myself. Like, oh man, I could have done this better. Not the role. I mean, I could have moved this better. I could have deployed this better. I could have done this better. I shouldn't have forgot this role. I should have done this stratagem here instead of here. It's a lot of mistakes because the moment you in the heat of the moment, you just get carried away, and then an error carries over and spills over. So when I lose, this is the thing that it can be depending on how you see it. It can be seen as like being salty or not, because I have a notepad where I have all every game I've played, win or lose, I have all the notes of mistakes and things I could have done and better and combos I can probably do. So every time so when someone argues about a game and X action, I go back there and like, no, this happened this way, dude. I have it here. I have written facts on how I messed this up. And then I just try to improve from there. Like, okay, this list was good for doing this, but like here, how can I prove it on? And then so on. It's slowly build on it and works. Also, I have, let's call it, I don't know what I call it, mentor. Someone who is basically, like I mentioned, like a dad in the sense like always helping me how to improve. Our French Templar, Monsieur Remy. He's really good. If you ever had a chance to play with him, he's really good at teaching you the things you need to pick up, or like. But he teaches you like in a bad way. You're gonna play. You want to test your list and know it's competitive. Go against Remy. He will find an issue and exploit the freak out of that issue, and then like, oh yeah, my list is like in X or Y. Because
he tabled Jean the other day on turn 1, and like Jean's like 5th, 9th edition game.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He will find your stuff and see how much he can destroy in turn 1. So when I was testing my Ultramarines for the first time. I said, "Hey Remy, yeah, I want you to destroy my Ultramarines." And he said, "With pleasure." And that's exactly what happened. Turn 3, I was like, okay, this is game.
Yeah. No,
but surprisingly, I made it past turn 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My mentality has always been, and you guys hear me say this all the time, especially new players, learn to love losing.
Yeah.
Basically, just learn, even if you're losing, look for the silver linings. Have the time of your life. You know, it's a game. Why you have to be mad?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
That's how losers think.
I was playing. I was playing the other day, or a couple weeks ago. This is a while ago. I remember I was playing D down in Pyeongtaek, and he shot an entire squad of demonettes off the board after they were like one save away from living. And I looked up, I'm like, at least I don't have to take morale. And he just started laughing. He's like, you just lost a squad of demonettes. I'm like, yeah, and
your point.
Or I would lose like an entire keeper, which was 240, 250 points. And I'd be like, oh, well, that sucks. It's like,
I'm not commenting anything about when getting upset with demons. I'm not gonna say anything. Nick. You know what I'm gonna say.
I was gonna say I've gotten, but you know, like I still get like, and that's been an evolving thing for me because I have, I've chucked dice at my table before.
You have grown. I'm not gonna lie, you have grown. I'm not denying that.
I threw dice at the table once, and as I let them go, I just slow-mo watch these dice, and they're corn dice. This makes this all the funnier.
It makes so much sense. Corn take over.
I rolled. I had a bloodthirster fail either any hit that he succeeded on failed the wound. He hit and wounded on 2s.
You're like 3. You're like 3 1s.
And then on the wounding, I also rolled 1s. And I throw these dice at the table and watch slow-mo as they bounce off the table. And in the middle, we have, the traditional ruins with two in the middle to kind of make to fighting pit. I watched them rattle around in the fighting pit and go one-on-one with a bloat drone.
And my little bloat drone lost the win.
Oh.
The bloat drone got KO'd that day, but he knocked off a turbine.
He's never been the same since then. He's never been the same since that day.
He's always traumatized every time he sees red.
He's scared of corn now.
He's scared of red.
He's scared, corn scares my little drone.
Corn scary.
But yeah, so now I still get very passionate and very into my games, but I'm better at, laughing when I lose things, or like experimenting and being okay with just kind of losing, because I analyze games as I'm losing them. Like as things are happening, I'm analyzing, now that I see what just happened, that was a mistake. But and the big thing is about like our early ventures into Warhammer. Mm-hmm. I remember 7th edition, I played in a tournament and I got 10th place.
Oh,
because I didn't, it was Necrons were still pretty good. And I got 10th place and I got a t-shirt. I actually still have the little award I got. It was a little purity seal.
Oh, that's nice.
And I actually think I still have the t-shirt somewhere that I won.
That's cute, honestly.
Shout out to Dragonfire Games in Lynchburg. I do miss those days. The community wasn't great, but the shop was amazing. I loved the shop. But it's mostly I just rubbed wrong with the guys because I wasn't a very nice person.
Now also.
I've matured a lot. No, like I was like a terrible person. Yeah, but the big thing is once I got back in 8th edition, the importance of my community. Whenever I started back in at the end of 8th, beginning of 9th, I started Blood Angels. People immediately came around and said, hey, I have this. Do you need this? You want to play a game? Let's play 500 points. Here, you can use my Iron Hands and learn how to play. And then I've started playing one of my closest friends, Griffin. Shout out to you, Griff. You are the realist, because he would bring Custodes and Guard. To give you an idea, you'll appreciate this, Luke, whenever I said he brought Custodes. 10 Alaran Terminators.
What?
Oh my god, don't tell me he put them in a single squad and then do the
5 and 5.
Unleash the Lions.
No, 5 and 5, and you would drop them in blobs. It would not unleash the Lions.
Oh god.
He ran jet bikes. He ran entire jet bike armies. Like, it'd literally be like 10 Alarans and then all jet bikes.
Fun.
But imagine that going into a new player like me.
Yeah, have fun with that.
But that's not competitive at all. You know, it was a fun list for him, but it was something to test my mind against. So, now his Grey Knights, those things he just always bodied me with. But like his Guard, he brought a Shadow Sword.
What is a Shadow Sword?
One time in the Custodes, he brought an Ares gunship.
What is?
It's a Forge World flyer.
I didn't even know Custodes have flyers.
It's a massive Custodes flyer.
It's
a massive one.
All the good
it's like
stuff
600
points. It's a flyer.
It's like 600 points. But, you know, he was teaching me how to play while not taking lists that I would struggle into, but definitely weren't good. To this day, he and I text back and forth about our lists, our models, you know. He's still the realist. We still, you know, talk, and I miss that community a lot back in Fredericksburg. I miss those guys a lot because they were the best. You know, Josh, Griffin, I do miss you guys. I do miss playing with you guys. But what about you guys? You know, like the importance of community. You both started with the same community. So tell me about your experience on the early days.
Well,
sure.
I'll take this one because literally that's how that's basically the beginning of the community. Because when I was at my first game, if you want to put it that way, is one of the first games that the community started because I was playing with Justin. So basically, after meeting Justin back in the day, I think you mentioned the story that he gifted me the Dark Imperium box set. So he brought the Marines for me. He let me borrow his Marines. So I was doing Ultramarines, and he brought his sisters. He just recently finished putting his sisters to battle, and we play a game. We play like almost 1,200 points games, and it was my first game ever. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just excited. And then I watched 3 what's the penitent engines from the sisters. And then Justin said, okay, I'm going to roll 45 hits on your 5-man intercessor squad. And I look at him like, excuse me? Yeah, I saw him
Bloody Rose mortifiers.
I just saw him drop 45 dice and just killing the entirety of those intercessors.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're dead, aren't they? He said, yeah. Oh, great. And that was the moment that sparked the rivalry that lasted until today now. And I enjoyed it. That's when I lost. And then that was like the first and the last time I played my Marines in almost a year, because I only played my Marines very recently. And then I just started picking the Death Guard, and then it's just trying to get better and learning. Not saying in a competitive way, like, oh, I want to reach you because I'm good. No, I wanted to be Justin just to see, look, I come this far. After we went from you rolling 45 hits to, oh, I can do this and that and then to beat you, which is one of the things I enjoy the most. And when we were playing one of the games in the tournament, he's like, wow, yeah, you made it this far. Like, wow, I'm impressed. Like, thanks, Justin.
Notice me, senpai.
Literally, like getting the nod of approval from like a couple of the guys. Like for me, like getting the nod of approval from Remy, Justin, and Sue. Like Justin, I haven't played him recently, but like I beat Remy one day, and the nod of approval I got from Remy, I made Sue sweat. Oh yeah, you were there because you walked in and you're
great.
like,
it was great because we were the tournament, the team tournament, and I would come to the door with a room where you were playing with Remy, and I will come there. You know the meme, hey son, are you winning? And Remy said, "Get out." I was like, "Okay, I'm out."
We were in our last 10 minutes, like, how's it going? Get out. Because that was a game where I killed a Redemptor Dreadnought turn 1, and his Terminators failed to kill anything. Because he did not realize how durable, or he failed to kill any of my Thunderhammers. He got the chain swords, but he failed to kill a Thunderhammer because he didn't realize how durable Death Company is. And then he lost his Terminators the very next turn to them. And now his priest was exposed because he planned on them joining him. So then priest immediately gets shot. Vanguard veterans take plasma scepters to the face, and he took bait on a 5-man angel squad with a his other Redemptor. And yeah, so it was not, but getting that, like, that day I beat him, or like the day I made Sue sweat, like, you live for those little things.
The sweaty games. The sweaty games.
I agree.
Yeah.
How about you, Rock? What was your your initiation of fire? You gonna put away? Yeah.
The initiation. Well, yeah. I mean, how I joined the community, I guess, like, by my brother. I got hooked up to Warhammer. Like, I just started to buy like few models. Who knew? Like 400 points model or 500 points model turned to like 1,000 and turned to like 2,000, and I have more. I'm building more.
No,
but mostly focus on discard.
You spend so much money on models. You should be ashamed of yourself. It's not like I have 3 armies and a Sigmar army on the build. No way.
I'm getting there. I have plans for other army also. It's just that once I start working, I'm gonna be building more armies and more models.
I did a point count today on my demons. So,
ouch.
Yeah, I mean, but when it comes to like winning and losing, so at the start, I got my ass handed out like every game, like. Stupid mistake. I mean, I already explained from the start, like missing to do things, like doing things. I didn't even know what to take.
I'll be honest. I think that you could have avoided those issues by having a codex. Just saying.
Probably.
This disc.
Whatever.
Go on. Sorry.
My cheat sheet compels me. Okay, it helps me because like when I first started playing the game, it took me like almost like whole freaking day to have a match settled because like I have to look at my cell phone to look at the what's this like battle scribe. It's like I have to go through every single details because I don't remember like how many toughness they have and I got roll like how many hits.
What's more Tarian's toughness again?
Well, hey, enough of that. So how I got through that was like I actually make my cheat sheet. Like I wrote everything in one single paper. Of course. It actually helped me. Okay,
until you forgot it. Until you forgot it at Old Dice.
Yeah, no. That's a different cheat sheet.
The next day.
No, that cheat sheet is a different one. That's the one I gifted him. I think that was the first time I met him. He was playing against Arthur and said, like, what do you play? I saw his cheat sheet and said, dude, here. I gave him a cheat sheet with every single strategy.
Another cheat sheet.
On faces, on what to use, command phase, do this. Shooting phase, do that.
That was really helpful. Like Luke, that cheat sheet really changed my game because ever since I got that, I've been winning. Ever since I got that cheat sheet, literally, I've been winning games.
I'm happy for that.
It felt like cheat sheet to me.
Well, yeah, this definitely goes back to like just the importance of the community, right?
Yeah, exactly. People help. Yeah, it's really like I really like our community. Very friendly and like. I really like the fact that like how they allow me to do conversions, which is really like got me into Warhammer. Like I thought like buying models like really like let me like be strict. Like you're allowed to make it that way. You're allowed to paint it that way. You're allowed to have like only that or like those kind of things, like very strict. Like I didn't really like the idea, but until like I heard from my brother and some of the community members, like you're allowed to do conversions, you're allowed to do this or that, and like, oh, I could get used to this, and I made a lot of conversions. But we'll talk about that next time.
We,
but
we run by the close enough rule.
How was
Is that
your,
friends? Yeah, close enough.
What was your first defeat? The one you said, "Oh man, it's on, it's on."
Oh.
That defeat that gets you fired up, and like, oh boy, next time
Death Guard versus
I'm bringing
demons.
the pain.
I think my first game like that was the first game with Benny, because I go to his house most of the time. I play with him, and he brings like first his guard list. Like he goes ham with tanks. I was like,
play against that.
Such a funny list.
That was scary.
Yeah,
it's such a fun list. But I actually won by points. I won by points, surprisingly, because he didn't have any offsets. So I just put my guys there, take all the shots, and miraculously they survive for some reason. My Terminators, my blob of Terminators, they just survived that, and I've been rolling those 4-ups like like there's no tomorrow, and they just like stay there. They don't die. And yeah, I mean, like honestly, like winning by points or something, but even if you lose, I think the most important thing is to have fun. Honestly, just have fun with the game. If you're having fun with the game, I think that's a true victor. So who cares if you're like winning the game? I mean, like winning is very important, but like if you're not having fun by winning, so what the hell is the point of that? So if I lose, like even if I'm losing, I'm like, I set a goal, like, I should kill all his squads of like his like dreadnoughts, or like I should kill his Thunderhawk or something like that. I failed to do that or something like that. Exactly. Like my game with Luke, he brought his demon list, demon engine list.
Which one?
I still lost that game, but like I was able to kill the Epidemius with the 9-inch charge, baby.
That was insane. Yeah. That was so
indeed, that was insane.
It was like you had no CP left. Like, come on, watch out the other heroes the 9 on the first one. Oh, that's a 9. Well, damn. it's all over
just
now.
Got in.
Now.
That's shot.
Exactly.
And the thing, like, and at that point I had a tally, so I was enjoying the rerolls. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a reroll now. If someone having killed my Epidemius. Yeah, I remember. It was a good game.
Yeah, and I mean
the moral victory. You know what's so fulfilling about that? It's like every time I deep strike Death Shot, they feel like the charge roll like 70% of the game. But I think that's like one of the only games that actually made a charge. So I was like,
you deep strike me. You try to charge my tank. You fail, and then I said goodbye, and my tank just moved 10 inches. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm dead.
But that also, it's that idea of what you say is I always say the importance of a strong mental fortitude, or Rock, you always say failure is the mother of success, and it really makes you think like and another way to kind of learn to love losing is identifying like, well, now that you've learned to love it, how are you going to learn?
Mm-hmm.
And Luke, I know you've been progressing really fast. So I want to know, how do you learn how to get better at this game?
Well, I'm gonna the way I learn, it's basically the way I think you learn is one of my idols, like Conan said. I learn by crushing my enemies, see them dreaming before me. I hear the lamentation of the women. Now, I learned by
Spanish Arnold in the house. Arnaldo. What I mentioned, I learned by trial and error. That's the way to learn this game. Trial and error, put the list, see how it works, see what fits, see what sticks, see what doesn't, and see how comfortable you feel like it. Because lately I've been playing more engines, for example, so I've been playing other way. And lately in my last game, I switched from playing engines to Terminators again. And I was like, oh man, I completely forgot that these people can do this stuff. And at the same time, oh yeah, I cannot do this thing anymore. And for me, for example, 2 units that I had in the game, I had Demon Prince and Death Shroud. They're very strong, they're very powerful. But for me in that game, they feel like they did nothing. And that's because, again, I was out of the loop of using the list, so I said, oh no, I need to remember how to play this list again. And it just goes back and forth.
being versatile and pick and remaining strong to one kind of this an army, it's challenge. And you said it yourself when you're playing Angels, you're like, oh yeah, I cannot charge you on turn one, I got used to. And it's to figure out how to get there to bonk you in the head with the knife. So that's the biggest complication. But I mentioned I learned by just playing it more and see what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean I can't charge you turn one? What is this?
What kind of treachery sorceress is?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm similar to the same way, whereas I do a lot less retrospection as I do it in the middle, as I learn in the middle of the game. So people can always tell whenever I'm thinking, because I start stroking my beard.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I start looking, you can tell when I know I've made a mistake, because Luke, you've seen it plenty. I will start stroking my beard the moment I've made a mistake.
You get in the thinking pose. I know.
Yes, I have the classic philosopher thinking with one arm across my midsection, and just because I have a very large beard, so I'm just sitting there stroking my beard and just feeling like, The nice part is it's large enough that I can even stroke it through a mask. But I am a trial by fire. I would love to, like, some people are like, oh, you made a bad mistake there. I'm like, I know. But sometimes, I just need to make the mistake. You can tell me that was a bad move till you're blue in the face. I need to make the mistake.
Don't worry, it will come back to bite me later.
It's that comic of Santa gives a child a sword, but that's dangerous. It's a sword. It's not supposed to be safe. It'll teach her a good lesson. What if she cuts herself? Then it'll be a very important lesson. That's like, I once had my T1 charge blocked by sisters because of good positioning from rhinos, and I got bodied because of it.
Whoa, you can do that?
You can.
Yeah, you just put him in the way, and he let them get killed.
Just block
sacrifice them for the greater good.
No. Yeah, you just sacked them, and it really screwed me up, to be honest. And I now run with a lot less aggression. I ran into Jakari. I kind of drip fed my demons, and that got me killed. So I started. So now I found like a good level of aggression, and I take advantage. I actually learned this from watching Grey Knights play. Is that new Grey Knights relic for the Dread Knights we talked about?
Yeah, the teleport behind you.
The teleport. No,
and as I said, the relic isn't that good, like in theory, but it's the threat, and that's exactly what I use my keepers for now. Like, keepers are scary, but they're not that unkillable.
I think they see
but the threat of them is terrifying, because if you step outside your deployment zone, I can get you.
I think I seen your
almost playing
growth.
like a boogeyman.
I think your biggest growth when doing the Crusade. I think playing the Crusade forced you to pick up way too many things how to use your keepers. Because I remember when we first started playing, you were like you were more let's go bonkers, and then you're like, let's go bonkers with strategy.
Yes. We're now going to throttle you with decorum.
Brutal but cunning. Brutal but cunning.
With a plan. That's how
I went from I am the prophet of Wa, the prophet of Gork and Mork. I am brutal, but now we are cunning.
Yeah. Because I know. I remember hearing you and seeing some of the games, and you had some terrible matchups where you had to do math with your brain just to make I need this amount of movement to make the guy squeeze into this little piece of terrain.
A lot of me learning how to not move block myself.
But I think that worked well, because now you don't have those issues anymore.
Yeah, and it's now it's I thought of it like, when a sword is too cold, it breaks. If you try to forge a sword cold, if a sword is too hot, it will bend. If your sword is too hot when you quench it, it will also break. Tempered aggression. The right heat, the right amount of pressure. But like I was playing Sue, and he was scared to step his Demas out of his deployment zone. because I didn't expose anything to his Herodon turn 1. I got the first turn. I didn't expose anything to the Herodon. He stepped one Dima outside of his deployment zone. I stepped a keeper and I put a keeper within 6 inches of him, step Bellicor out, advance and charge, instant kill.
Oh.
So then the rest of the game, he was dancing with his, and then I put Bloodthirster over to the other side and basically said, your 2 Dimas are going to meet me in the middle of this field and fight 3 keepers. Because I had a Bloodthirster, which could one-shot a Dima, which we saw it do, 36 wounds to an 18-wound model. And I had Bellicor on the other side, which he just saw could one-shot a Dima. So it's like, well, where do I go? But yeah, that's kind of,
you can run. You can hide.
Is definitely that trial by fire and just dying as I learn. What about you, Rock? How do you like to learn?
Well, as one of the newbies, I like to trial by fire. That is like there's no option there. Like
no substitute for experience.
Yep, I just gotta like get in there, get much game as I can, and just learn through it. And as you learn, like you can try to learn from the other people too, like what other people do in this in these kind of situations. I see. So you need to do that kind of thing in that kind of situation.
Yeah,
monkey see, monkey do, man.
You remind me in our game.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, but that happened in the game, the tournament. We were playing together. So the first game we had a tournament, it was Death Guard versus Death Guard. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this combo. And then on Rock's turn, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing you just did to me. I was like, wait a minute. Wait, you're not supposed to do that.
Wait,
what? Why not?
No, I don't like this.
What do you mean you're gonna use the same thing I use against you? You're gonna use it against me? How?
I feel like a caboose.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, that's illegal.
That's exactly how I felt. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to use my tricks against me. How dare you? Yeah. That's how I felt playing the game. Especially because oh, that's a cool combo. I'll use it. Wait.
Exactly.
It's like a reverse Uno card if you think about it.
No, it's the ultimate reverse Uno.
That's the reverse Uno, yeah, but that's exactly what happened. I was like, wait a second.
And just that, I learned from the first game in the tournament. It's like, oh, I should do that in the next game, and I did against the Space Wolves.
Oh, there you go.
And then you learned not to castle shortly after.
Yep, not to castle after in the third game. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
I should castle. Fantastic.
Turn 1 demons, just charging right there. So I was like, oh, I made a great mistake.
Yeah. So basically, you were casting and get a knock on the door. Like, are you ready for a word from the Great Corruptor, or the She Who Thirsts?
Oh,
are you
have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Prince of Darkness?
She Who Thirsts.
It's like I felt like in the Simpsons episode where Ralph was like,
"I'm in danger."
That's how I felt when I saw the Harlem just landing on my backfield. Like, oh yeah, this is not gonna end well.
Yeah, that's one thing.
People saw the table and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
They all asked me, like, how do you not get out of there? It's like,
you can't
turn 1 charge.
But also they're like, why didn't you just fall back? And you're like, he has fiends. I can't.
I can't fall back. I'm stuck.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
I can't get up.
Don't feel bad. I had a game the tournament before that. Or no, I think it was actually the same tournament.
Oh, wait, seriously?
No, it was the tournament before that. I finished off a player in 45 minutes.
Oh, I remember. That was not a fun thing to see. I remember I was playing my game and you would come to me like, what are you doing here? Oh, I just finished. And
it was. What? They were on turn 2. They were on the end of turn 2 and I walked up and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm done.
Like, how?
I used 30 minutes off I think I used 25 minutes on my clock.
Yeah, not very fun.
Oof. No, and I actually felt bad after that game because there was no learning in that game because unfortunately it was another melee army and they deployed forward against Slanesh demons and I'm like, you can't do that. And I mean, admittedly, the player has gotten 100 times better today. I don't think I could ever do that to him again.
Okay.
But yeah, like, so just take solace you weren't that. But I mentioned, like the hardest thing for me to learn while playing Warhammer was temper my aggression, because in every game I play, I like being aggressive. I don't want to wait for the problem. I want to be the problem. So, Luke, what was the hardest thing for you to learn?
For me to learn, it's something I'm still dealing with. It's I haven't learned it yet. Is like knowing my threat range, because I've been switching lists. So now that I'm playing engines, it's a different thing. And knowing my range of threat, and also on top of that deployment, it's something that I still have issues. My deployment, it still leaves a lot to be desired, I think. I mean, I can get what I want to do, but I always try to fumble because in my head, I overthink too much, which can be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So it always kind of backfires. But for example, in my last game, I was too scared. And this is something I was discussing with my dad, Remy yesterday. That I was evaluating the risks of what he could do against me, but I was so worried about what he could do to me that I started thinking, wait, this is what I can do to him. So I was playing very safe, very cagey, and because I played too safe, it hindered me in the range game, and for 1 inch I could not do very important shooting that I really needed. So little mistakes like that, like now I know better. And then deployment is something that still beats me. I think that the worst one that happened with deployment, again, playing against Sue, I had a wall of boxwalkers. I left like a tiny gap of a boxwalker and a death shroud. He just threw his D-Macaron in that hole, in the little hole, and just killed my 3 death shroud in 1 turn, 1 round. I was like, oh, yeah. Mistakes were made. I'm learning now. And the other things that still carries over and so on. Same with when I was playing against Justin. I was like, I was spreading too much instead of focusing things. Sometimes overkill is not a bad thing because you just kill secure. Doesn't matter if it kill secure. And I learned against that when I was playing against Justin, because I spread too many attacks and I ended up killing nothing. I accomplished nothing that I wanted to do against his Necrons, and then he just... even though I managed to table him by turn 3, those mistakes let him score more points than me overall. I was like, oh, well, damn. So things like that, like, oh, it didn't matter that I managed to table him. At the end, he won. I was like, oh, boy, this is how you learn that play the game, play the strategy, don't play the table game, which it's something that can be debated, but some people just play just to table you, that's their idea of victory, which, don't get me wrong, it's great. Good for you, you're happy. But the point game is what matters the most in these cases. In this case, it was a tournament game. It was the team tournament. So score points were.
I remember that game.
Points were really important. So I was like, oh man, I got carried away and I paid the price. I scored well, but still, I could have done better. On top of winning, I could have done better in scoring points overall. Looking forward for we're planning to do the new game again, a new tournament like that. So looking forward to see the Team Soul versus Songdo 2.0.
What about you, Rock?
Well, yeah, in my case, like
what's the hardest thing for you to learn how to do besides spread the sickness?
How to do? Oh wow, okay. So my hardest thing, honestly, is positioning. Like, I still think right now, even after like few games or something like that, my positioning is it's very hard to like put your units down in your deployment. In my case, it's so hard because like you like tend to hide your stuff like most of the time, but in the end, like you hit it too well to the point that you can't shoot anyone if you're first to go, right?
Yeah, you cap your first turn.
Yeah, exactly. And also like, okay, I want to go first. So like I deploy my units out in front so they can like all move in and get in the side of shooting and just moving in or something like that. but you end up going second, so you lose like 30% of your army in your first turn. In the first turn, because like you're sitting duck out there. I was like, oh shoot, I shouldn't do that next time, because there's no guarantee you're going first. And yeah, so positioning it's really hard, because like you think you deployed it well, like hiding behind the terrain or something like that, but turns out like they can just like move into a certain angle and just shoot you down in that angle. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, movement phase is the most important phase of the game, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, deployment got me whenever I first was playing my demons. The importance of sacrificing the little guys, and making sure that the big guys are hidden.
Yeah.
Like doing everything you can to make sure they're hidden, and choosing which ones to leave out.
In my case, I tend to be really greedy, so I tend to like hide most of my stuff. But turns out, like, because of the small stuff, you cannot, like, I end up not hiding the big stuff.
Right, exactly.
And turns out, like, sometimes that actually helps by the fact that you're getting all your big stuff getting shot, but they survive. They take all the shots. That's the good thing about the death card, apparently.
Yeah, no, it's great until you get a flat 4 damage gun with AP4, and like that's where the fun stops.
Yeah, of course, like it's not always like that, but sometimes there are some perks to your failures, like perks to your like mistakes or something like that. For some reason, you just get lucky sometimes, but like luck isn't always on your side. So deployment, positioning, really important, and yeah, I think I need to get better at that.
Yeah, and that's, I think, something that plagues us all whenever we first start, is learning, like, basically learning what to sack, and what to, like, what's most important, but also being able to not hurt yourself. But if you guys, like, I know our community has been exploding lately. If you had something that you wanted to offer to the new players, what would be your one piece of advice, like short and sweet, to take away from this episode about learning to love losing? What would be the closing remark you would give to somebody who's trying to get better at the game?
There's always a next time. There's always a next game.
There's always another game. What about you, Rock? What would you tell them?
My tip, I guess, honestly, like even if you're veteran, or even if you're a newcomer, or even if you're a pro, just enjoy the game. Like that's the whole reason why we're playing, right? Just enjoy, have fun. It's only a game. Why you have to be mad? It's only a game, so why you have to be mad?
Mine's very similar to that. Just, paint your models pretty, and if you know you're losing, go for the moral victory. Pick a unit that you want gone and take it down. Even if you lose, you get a moral victory because you took it down.
Yep, exactly. Kill their prize possession and watch it burn.
See everyone facing my chicken. Even if they're losing, they want the chicken.
Killing the chicken feels good.
Well, yeah. So it's been great talking with you guys. I think we can wrap it up here. So to those who have been listening to us, thank you. And
until next time,
may Slanesh smile upon you this week.
And Nurgle bless.
And this has been Warp Report, and game on.